Samburu pastoralists of northern Kenya are known as Loiborngeneji, people of the white goats. And yet today, many of them are so poor that they do not even own one goat, white or any other color. While most Samburu were able to live on the products of their cows, sheep, and goats in the past, today poor members of the community are increasingly dependent for income on odd jobs or trade in natural resources, such as firewood, posts, or charcoal. Brewing gin and beer are other common sources of income. Occasionally, they receive famine relief food and charity dispensed by churches in the area. Those who have lost most of their livestock find it difficult to continue in the pastoralist lifestyle and may eventually migrate to small towns or even big cities in search of livelihoods. With few marketable skills, however, they are likely to end up even further on the margins of society. This project proposes to address the problems of some of these poorer pastoralists by promoting rearing of an improved breed of dairy goats, the Toggenburg goat. Toggenburgs have been successfully introduced in Meru district and subsequently in many other areas of Kenya. These goats are well suited to the environment of the Samburu highlands. They are relatively easy to manage, have high market value, and far superior productivity compared to Samburu goats. For example, Toggenburg goats can produce up to 4 liters of milk a day versus less than half a liter for Samburu goats. In 2010, the Dairy Goat Project introduced Toggenburg goats to an initial group of 30 households in the Samburu community in Samburu district. Our research in this community, where formerly communally managed land was privatized around 1990, suggested that the Toggenburg would be appropriate for the area. Since each household owns their own parcel of about 23 acres, they are able to make independent decisions about caring for livestock, and individual households have enough land that they can produce enough fodder to stall feed the goats, which is the preferred method of management. Discussions with men and women in the community revealed a high level of interest in these goats, especially due to the possibility for higher milk production. More milk will improve household nutrition, especially for children. Surplus milk may also be sold in local markets. Young goats can also be sold for a profit. Following on these discussions, the community members formed a group of 30 households, all of whom had participated in ongoing research in the area. These households were divided into 5 smaller groups according to where they live. In the summer of 2010, representatives of each of the groups, together with the research team, traveled to Meru district to observe the management of Toggenburg goats and to select the breeding stock to be brought back to Samburu. During this trip, 5 female and 5 male breeding goats were purchased and transported back to Samburu. Then, the group members constructed small houses in which to keep the goats. Each group received 1 male and 1 female breeding goat, which they are responsible for. Local goats will be crossbred with the Toggenburgs, and in a couple of generations, a 75% cross will be achieved. This is considered the optimum crossing to get increased milk production as well as hardiness in the goats. Managing the Toggenburg goats is different from the usual way that Samburu people herd goats. For example, the Toggenburgs are kept in small houses raised a couple of feet above the ground. This housing protects the goats from foot rot and other parasitic diseases that they might get if they stay in pens together with other sheep and goats. The goats can also be fed in or near the houses, minimizing the energy they use finding food so that more energy goes into producing milk. They can also be grazed in a small enclosed area near the homestead. Fodder trees and grasses can be planted to provide high quality and accessible feed for the goats. Community members expect that the new goats will bring them many benefits. They are looking forward especially to the increased production of milk. Milk is traditionally the Samburu's staple food, but with declining livestock numbers, they increasingly rely on grains like maize for their diet. Milk is more nutritious, especially since it is high in protein and fat compared to grains. More milk in the diet should help decrease malnutrition among young children. In addition to milk, community members hope to benefit by selling kids to other members of the community interested in the Toggenburg. They will also spread the breed by allowing crossbreeding for a small fee. The breeding fees will help defray costs of veterinary drugs and other supplements that they will need to manage the goats well. Since the goats do not require constant herding like traditional goats, the introduction of Toggenburgs should reduce child labor in herding and enable more children to attend school. If people plant enough nutritious fodder close to their homes, the labor required to collect feed for the goats should also decline over time. Owning a few Toggenburg goats will enable Samburu families to meet their demands for milk and cash without increasing their labor costs. There are challenges involved in this process as well. The Toggenburg goats are new to this region of Kenya, and it may take them some time to adapt and reach their maximum productivity. The new system of management is also new to Samburu herders, and it will require them to change some of their habits regarding raising goats. Keeping the goats healthy and well-fed will take additional effort initially, although it should bring significant benefits. Another challenge is to establish and maintain the breeding system so that the positive traits of the Toggenburg are not diluted through indiscriminate crossbreeding. Keeping a register of all the Toggenburgs and crosses is necessary. Each goat has its own registration card where important information is recorded. Controlling the breeding process and following up on each goat's progress is the job of the community group. Additional training and support will be necessary to help this group fully understand how to make the most of the opportunity of having Toggenburg goats. He's saying this one, he has to bring it in the house and it sleeps on the bed. To learn more about how to support this and other CNIS projects, please visit our website.